lot has happened over the past few months, but some of the main things were back in October, my nephew passed away, and it wasn't of natural causes. His life was taken. That was pretty much, I would say, the first real experience of loss that I've had, and pretty much my entire family. That was one of the first major loss that the family as a whole experienced, and then in such a way like that especially. So it was hard, especially since a lot of us were there that night to see certain things. After that, things felt really weird. I know a lot of people say death is transformation, and people go to a better place, and energy can't be destroyed, it can only be transformed and all of that. But things still felt weird. It just felt like reality had changed in a way. It did, especially for my sister, his mom, for his sisters, my nieces, just for the whole family. So reality did change, but it was I don't know, it was we all felt like it was a dream, that we was still waiting to wake up from. There were some days I took off work. There were some days I probably was capable to work, but I just felt I don't want to. I want to just take this time to just whatever, I just don't want to be at work. I don't want to be around people and having to do this and that, and my mind is not here right now. And with that came consequences, because my next few checks were lower than what I needed them to be, obviously, to pay rent and stuff. I was able to pay rent, so thankful for that. But certain things that I was worrying about, I wouldn't have had to worry about if I had did what I needed to do. But of course, sometimes life just doesn't work that way. Sometimes we need that time. Sometimes we have to take that time. It can't always be about work and deals and everything. So, as long as everything got taken care of, that's what matters. There was someone at work who, I always loved working with her, and I was asking around, I wonder when she's coming back. She was out because her daughter had to have brain surgery, and every time I looked at the schedule, it would be off for that entire week. This is a long time for her to be off, something, what's going on. So I eventually heard her daughter had, passed away. So it was just a lot of that going on. And of course, I took a few days off of work, but she's been off for weeks. And who knows how much longer she may feel like she needs to be off, because that's harsh. That's really hard. I also have a friend here that was near eviction almost, and I was pretty much complaining about only having a certain amount in my account once I had to pay rent, and complaining about how it could have been more, but I just didn't go to work for X amount of time. So there was no reason for me to complain. That was my fault, one. I mean, of course, certain things in life took place, and there was some days that, okay, it was reasonable for me to take off, and then there was other days that I just didn't feel like going. I just wanted to stay home just because, or just for dumb reasons. And so that was my fault. And then just the fact that I'm not near eviction. I wasn't worried about being evicted, and someone else was, my friend was, and I was just complaining. So there was a fire that took place in my building also. It happened on the 12th floor, and pretty much the 12th floor and below got affected. There were some apartments that got flooded. There was leaks in their apartment, I guess from when they was trying to put the fire out. My friend is actually on the 11th floor, and her apartment was again one that was affected. And again, I was complaining. Reason being was because the elevators went out. So that meant we was having to go up and down so many flights of stairs. And the stairs were pretty much flooded too. Well, not flooded, but they were all like soaking wet. Going down the stairs is not that bad. It's the coming up that pretty much shows that you out of shape, you out of breath, you out of everything. Like, I was going up and down these stairs and I was hearing people like stopping, like there was a couple that was on their way up with me. I don't know if they were married or not, but the man, he was pretty much the one that was more out of breath than the woman. Like he was having to stop, but they was kind of encouraging other. That was nice. Like, she was like, come on baby, we're almost there. And I was like, yeah, this is not it. And at my friend's apartment, since there was water leaking everywhere, we had to get her cats out. She has 3 cats, and we had to take all the way down these stairs as well, make sure they was okay. So, and I don't have my cats here yet. I was planning on getting them here, but again, that was something luckily I didn't have to worry about, but I still had to complain because going up them stairs, I was over it. Like, I did not like having to go up these stairs, which I'm about to do right now. It's very tiring. About a week later, we had another incident in the building, and this incident, I believe, happened on floor 13 and 15. So we thought it was a fire because the alarms was going off. I was on my way down to go out with a friend. I ended up like, hold on, let me go check on my other friend or whatever again. So I went and checked on her, and I'm like, these alarms are going off, something's going on. So we went out and we checked. We're going up all the floors. You can see as I'm talking, I'm getting out of breath coming up these stairs. But so we're going on because I'm like, I think it happened on this floor or this floor. So we go check those floors. And so far, we kind of smelling something, like, I don't know, but something's weird. I don't know why we was exploring, but we was just exploring to see what the hell was going on. So we started, I think, coming back up again, and then we checked floor 13, and it was like the whole floor was full of smoke. So we're like, oh my gosh. And again, we had to go get her cats, take them out to her car, rush out, and all this other stuff. Like, oh, something else going on again. So we also see a damn bullet hole in the fire extinguisher glass. So as we're coming down the stairs, we're hearing people coming out from those floors and telling us what happened. Like, some guy had a gun, he was shooting, and then he was just going on all the floors, spraying them with fire extinguisher gas. So I'm really tired. I made it back in. The video cut off before I made it back in, but I made it back in from going up all those stairs. But anyways, so apparently the guy, I don't know what was wrong with him, but he was just spraying fire extinguisher gas everywhere. I think that there was an active fire somewhere, but I don't know if he caused it or what, but he was just going around spraying that shit everywhere and shooting for whatever reason. And I actually talked to the guy that he got into an altercation with. The guy was like, he wanted to protect his family or something because he saw that the guy was like being crazy, like shooting at somebody's door and then spraying the gas and all that. So then he said the guy pretty much hit him in the back with the fire extinguisher and sprayed him in the face with the gas. Like, a lot of crazy stuff was going on. So I'm just thankful that it wasn't like a bad fire going on. Again, my apartment was unaffected, thankfully, and I was unaffected by that altercation with that guy, because I don't know what that was about, but I just have to be thankful for that. some things can, be outside of us. But if you are constantly pointing the finger everywhere else, if you keep pointing fingers at everyone else for the problems in your life, you're going to attract more people to point the finger at, and you're also going to attract people that want to point the fingers back at you. A lot of times we can feel so lonely, like we have nobody to hang out with or nobody to talk to, when really we're just trying to escape from something we need to face and distracting ourselves from our pain. So don't be alone wishing and waiting for someone to give you a loan of their time, their love, their support, their confidence, their encouragement, or their energy. Don't try to neglect or suppress or avoid things coming up during these alone times, because they'll always come back until you take the lesson from it and change your perspective of those things. This is something especially that we need to think about when involved in like relationships and the breakup, that whole breakup process. A lot of times we can try to escape from that pain, avoid what really happened, or avoid we don't want to feel alone, so we can jump into the next relationship, or just constantly want to be on the go in company of others. Like we want to hit our friends up again and start hanging out with our friends, and that's really just distracting ourselves. And really, we need that time to ourselves to heal, and we rarely give it to ourselves. So a lot of times that's a problem in itself. And no, it's not a problem to go out with friends and go out and do things to take your mind off of it, but don't chase those moments as an escape route. Don't chase that time and use it as a distraction. If you're going to use that time, know why you're using that time and know how to use that time for a more beneficial purpose, a healthier, release type of way, not just to avoid what's really going on and what you're really feeling, to where when you go back home at night and you're not around your friends anymore or anything, you're all sad and depressed or crying yourself to sleep or whatever the case may be. Sitting there, laying there, being mad at the world, needing to smoke up everything, needing to drink up everything, whatever it may be. And it's easier said than done to just not jump into another relationship at times, because, and when I say this, I mean like before you're healed, because sometimes you just really like somebody, you just really kind of connect with somebody, and you just really can't help it. And then sometimes you feel like you have healed because I guess, you're just feeling good. You got this new crush or this new person, they just making you feel good. So you feel like you have healed, until later on down the line when you're already too deep in and you realize you haven't. And then you're just going through this same cycle all over again, just with someone else. And in a relationship or partnership, friendship, whatever, it's not always one person's fault when something goes bad. It takes two. That's why it's a relationship, a partnership. It does take both of you. There's problems on both ends. That's why you shouldn't go into things before you are ready, before you are healed. And there's a lot of this, women this, men this. There's a lot of that going on. Really, it's both sides needing to heal first and needing to do a lot of things, a lot of shadow work, whatever the case may be. Just a lot going on from both sides. So it's not just one-sided. It's not just the problem was just this person. The problem was just that person. The problem is just this group. The problem is just that group. Is as a whole, as a collective. Sometimes one side is a little higher or lower on the scale with baggage or BS or the good things that they brought, but it's still unbalanced, so it doesn't matter which side is more. And ultimately, you both allow things to go on until you decided to end it. So again, it starts with both and it ends with both. But you also have to be aware that as time goes on, things change, people change and evolve, and circumstances change. Be aware of your surroundings and who you invite into your space, who you keep your door open for, who you always open your door for, but also be aware of what you ask for and how it may come. This is not just with relationships, this is with anything in life. For example, I was telling myself I needed more money. I kind of fell off for a little bit. I put a lot of money into a lot of things that I didn't necessarily need to, but I felt I needed to at the time, or I wanted to at the time, or I was trying to help someone else at the time, and that kind of set me back a lot. So, I was telling myself, I need to get back on track. I need to get more money. Bills are coming up, and just more money to do other things. Essentially, I'm asking the universe, I'm asking God, I'm asking whoever for more money. And sometimes when you do that, you get more problems that happen to where you need more money. But in my case, an opportunity came to where, yes, I could get more money, but it wasn't in the way that I may have wanted or expected. So I'm at work and my off day is coming up, and of course, I was getting back on track with work. Everything was good. The holidays was here, so I had that holiday pay too. So I'm like, yeah, I'm back on track already, but I could use some more, but whatever. I'm ready to take my little off days and relax and do what I need to do creative wise or whatever. Well, they was kind of going to be short staffed the next day. The one person that they did have working was going to have a doctor's appointment. So lo and behold, I'm already there. So they asked me, can I work tomorrow? And I'm not thinking like, I was asking for more money. I wasn't specific, so maybe that was the issue, but I'm not thinking about that at first. At first I'm like, it's my off day. Do I really want to? I was so hesitant, but then it dawned on me, I asked for this. I wasn't specific about it, so it came in this way. So for me to be hesitant about it, that's essentially me saying I really don't know what I want. And at the time, I wasn't really working on my creative projects or any other way that could bring in that money that I was asking for. The main thing I was doing was having a job and going to work. So that's the way that opportunity came. So I either was going to take that opportunity or miss it. And, what's the point of asking for things if you're going to complain about the way that it comes, if you're not even specific about what you want? Because next time an opportunity might not even come at all. So I did go ahead and take that shift, by the way. I did. I'm very grateful for the fact that I can bounce back when I need to and get back on track, because it wasn't always like this. It really just recently became this way. After everything that's been going on, I really could have been stuck in a state of defeat. But instead, I retreated and began paying attention to the things that I was avoiding. And that has been leading me to, things have just been feeling better than what I thought they would be.